Hello, in this video we're going to talk about Ansible host vars, and I'm going to show you an example of how host vars work in a network engineer environment. So my name is Roger Perkin. I'm a network engineer based in the UK, and I use Ansible to automate network devices. Now this tutorial is going to be very generic. It's going to be focused on network devices, but the theory of the Ansible host vars remains the same, and going through this will show you what the host vars are as compared to the group vars. So let's get started. I've got Ansible installed on a machine here, and I'm using Visual Studio Code to edit all the information. So I've created within my installation folder two folders. One is called group_vars and the other one is called host_vars. Now these two folders are looked for by Ansible when you run your playbooks, and depending on what you've got in them, it will implement the configuration based on that. So as an example, I'll show you in the group vars, I have a file called all.yml. So anything that's in the all.yml will affect every single device in your inventory. And I've got a group vars called NXOS, so anything in the NXOS group. And then under host vars, which is what we're going to talk about today, we have device specific YAML files. So I am using 5 CSR routers here for this demonstration, and they are configured in my hosts. So we can see I've got CSR routers. This is my group, and within that group we have these hosts. Now I've got CSR 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These relate to 5 CSR routers. Then there is another group here which is NXOS, and in that group there are 2 more hosts. So in this example I've got my host vars, and within that I've got a file for each specific device. So for CSR1 specifically, I'm going to detail in here any configuration that I would like to use that is specific just to this device. So in this example, I am going to connect to this device using the Ansible user Roger, and the host name that I'm going to configure on this device is CSR-1. Now if we go into CSR2, this one does not have the username, so this will inherit whatever is included in the all.yml group vars. Let's go back up to the all.yml. So if a variable is not configured in the host vars, it will then look in the group vars, and you can see here we have an Ansible user called Roger as well, and this is the password, and these are the devices. So to show how this works, let's change the host name of this device. I'm going to call this one CSR1. I've now got within my host vars, this one is called CSR2, this one CSR3, 4, 5, and I've changed the specific host var for CSR1. Got a playbook that just runs simple configuration command. I'll go back in and show you what it's going to do. Configure.yaml here, and all it's going to do is configure this router with host name, and then it's going to look for host name .name. That will be looking in the host vars, and it's going to pull this information from this YAML data here. So it's host name and then .name, and I've configured CSR1 this one, I've configured CSR-2 that one. So when we run this playbook, Ansible will connect to my 5 routers. It will configure each one with the host name that I have configured in the host vars data. So that's worked. 5 devices have all been configured, and we can see that the CSR1 device did change. So if we just jump across to CSR1, so this is the CSR1 router, and you can see that its host name has indeed changed to CSR-1. CSR2 device is still called CSR-2. So in essence, that is the use for host vars. It allows you to configure device specific information that only relates to that one specific device. So just to go through that again, within the host_vars folder, you create a YAML file, and this is very important. The name of this YAML file needs to match the name of the device in your hosts file. So my host file contains 5 CSR routers. So this is the group name, CSR_routers. And in there, the device or the host name, CSR-1. I then create a specific file in my host vars called CSR-1.yaml. Then in there, anything that I create will relate only to that single device. So we can change this back again. I'll change that back to CSR-1. Then when I run the playbook again, this will let's run that once more. See it revert back. This is now going to change CSR1 again and put its host name back. Now I've obviously got very small host file for device. These files can contain a lot of information, but that in that case has now just changed the host name back to here. So you define a file specifically for each device that you want unique information on. If you don't want to configure anything unique to the device, then you configure it up here, and in the group vars, this is where you define the information that's relevant for every device. So I've got an NTP server configured here, so this would be relevant for every device, and these variables here are relevant for every device. The host vars, this is where you configure any information that you want to pull that is relevant specifically for that device. So I hope that explained it. As I said, my name is Roger. I also have a course specifically for network engineers who want to learn Ansible and how to automate their network with Ansible. I'll put a link in the description for that one. And if you like these kind of videos, please do hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.